I bought him in December.
And here we go. Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, The Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, big guy?
You, baby.
You know how when you're listening to the radio, you can always tell it's going to be a good day or a bad day or an indifferent day by certain songs that come on that you vibe with. One of my favorite songs ever, REO Speedwagon. I'm going to keep on loving you. Song was on the radio just now, so feeling pretty good, as well as my boy Klay Thompson led the Warriors in scoring for the first time in 750-plus days with 21, against the Detroit Pistons. So it's a little bit bittersweet, but happy to see Klay, 21 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, beat the Pistons. But, hey, Klay's back, and REO Speedwagon's back, too, so I'm feeling good.
That means it's going to be a good day, Tom Mazawey.
That's my song, too, man.
You like that song?
That's class of 1980.
Oh, man, that's some good stuff right there.
Were you
I love
the class
that.
of 1980?
High Infidelity. High Fidelity was the name of that album.
High Fidelity.
High Fidelity. Love that album.
It's a good movie, too, by the way.
It was.
John Cusack.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, class of 80.
Real treat today in the booth, the great Sam Fisher, a.k.a. Fish Wednesday.
Fish sticks.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Tell me a little bit about your life. What's happening?
Well, I do the morning show. I talk to people. I yell at people. And that's pretty much about it.
Why'd you
Very
pick the
good.
morning show over us? I want to know.
Why'd you pick?
It's in the mornings.
Okay. Just checking.
like
Opens
him-
up your day.
It's like
Pretty
him,
simple.
Him and Adam, they just yell at people like all day. I watch in the mornings, by the way, just to see my boy fishing.
Well,
He does a
Adam
good
has
job.
been passionate over the past 2 days after the Rams win. So
Oh, my
that
gosh.
definitely
There was,
helps.
there
Oh
was
my gosh.
some good back and forth with Adam, man. That's good back and forth.
And the great Sawyer over here in for Alex Mayer today. Sawyer, you and Sawyer, Bray,
Got the same hat on.
same hat.
got
That
the-
too signifies
We got
a
the
good
memo.
day.
Actually, I got a haircut, so I don't know why I'm even wearing the hat, but something about the Tigers and
It's Wednesday. Wednesday haircut day.
A little bit of baseball
I know,
talk.
right?
Yeah, I look good today too.
Why not?
Actually,
Why not
I got
take
my
the hat off? There
my
we
Lady
go.
Jane's. Just a little bit,
there you go.
just a little bit.
I might
you go.
be shaving this mug off one of these days.
You
You
think
shave
so?
it off?
I don't know. What
gonna
am I
go-
holding out the scraps for?
You gonna go baldy?
I don't know.
What's the decision there, Maz? Talk to me about the decision
shape of
making.
the head.
Eventually, it's got to go. It's
Yeah.
I mean, how much more can you just paste hair around and stuff?
Do you think that lasts for a while, or do you think it goes off on its own? Or do you,
It's been hanging in there, but
Yeah.
once it starts really going, and it's on its way, it's I'm gonna shave it and I'll just wear a hat.
Fair
what
enough.
do you do?
Hey, we got a big show today. We're going to talk to Hondo Carpenter, publisher of Sports Illustrated, Raiders maven, and of course Spartan Nation.
He's a Michigan
also
State guy.
Michigan
Yeah.
State guy, but he's out in Vegas now covering the Raiders for Sports Illustrated. So we're going to talk to him about the Raiders coaching situation and a lot of smoke still regarding Jim Harbaugh. So we'll talk to him about that coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Also, Commander Dale Brown.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited about that
Detroit
one,
Urban Survival Training. You have seen him all over the place. There's been a Saturday Night Live parody.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr. had the touchdown celebration that involved disarming
He did.
A teammate, which Commander Brown teaches in these
Detroit
survival
Urban
units.
Survivor Training.
Detroit
Dale
Urban
Brown.
Survival Training. Yes.
I'm
So
excited about
we'll
that.
talk to him.
Is it real? Is my biggest thing.
Oh, you want to know?
I really want to know.
I got an idea.
What's the idea?
Corey's walking around the studios here.
He is.
Let's throw Corey in there against the dust.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's better because I myself started to get nervous thinking that it might be
Right.
real, and I didn't want to get my arm broken.
Right.
So
Corey-
let's let
No,
him be the guinea
we
pig.
got to get Corey in.
He could be
for
what do
sure.
they call those guys in the car that they just send?
Test dummies.
Test. He could be on top.
Test dummies.
So bad.
You remember those commercials?
Of course.
Those commercials used to be
Oh,
great.
Slow mo.
Oh, those poor dummies.
Like going all over the place, like the Matrix, and
You big dummy.
Also coming up in the hour number 2, We're going to talk to Rod Beard, Detroit News, out on the road with the Pistons. And, of course, we saw that trade rumor being bandied about yesterday.
I love that trade.
We liked it, but
It's 2 days. It was last week, actually.
Last week about Pistons potentially trading.
It was Monday because I was here.
Jeremy Grant and Sadiq Bay and Kelly Olynyk
first-round pick
and a first-round pick to Philadelphia for
that pick. Ben Simmons.
For Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I saw that pick.
I don't know. There's something about Ben Simmons that I want no part of. So
I do.
But then again,
I'm with Baz on that one.
could be potentially somebody that's on the block there, somebody that the Pistons want. But
I can't wait to talk about that because that trade just looked awful. Like in the grand scheme of things.
Awful for Philadelphia or awful for us?
No, awful for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like in terms of what we were giving them to get Ben Simmons, I was like, nah.
To be honest with you, though,
Do you think you're overdoing it with that?
I mean, I don't know, and we could talk to Rod about it, but what use is Ben Simmons to the Philadelphia 76ers just on their bench, not playing, away from the team, no help? I mean, Jeremy Grant can score for you. Sadiq Bay is an exciting young player. I mean, role player on that team for sure, but
the use is there is look at what we were willing to give up to get him, which is everything we have. Like with the exception of Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is the only piece that wasn't on the table for us, and we're giving him all of that. So just imagine the deals that are coming from other teams that may have something that looks a lot better than what we offered.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the 76ers want to do with that. I don't know.
I got a hunch.
I'm intrigued by the whole situation.
I got a hunch that they're going to pull a big deal.
Yeah,
a big deal.
Well, they got to do something, right? I mean, they
definitely
before
the All-Star game at least. Yeah,
yep.
You would think so.
That's in Cleveland.
If you can get the 1 or 2 pick this year, which I think they would be guaranteed a top 3 pick. I believe.
Them and Orlando has 8 wins. The Pistons have 10 wins.
Yeah, so you're talking 1 or 2. You're going to get one of those 2.
Well, it's a lottery. You could still pick 6th.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
I think the last time the All-Star game was in Cleveland was the year LeBron got drafted. I think it was 2003.
I forgot about that.
Is the All-Star game in Cleveland?
Yeah,
it's in Cleveland.
It's in Cleveland.
Why would they put the All-Star game in Cleveland?
Why not?
Well, it's not a new arena. That's number one. It's a cold weather.
I'm glad they got it. That means that we're close to getting it here.
I mean, the Pistons should absolutely get an All-Star game with a new arena.
We'll get it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, I think every once in a while they go into, speaking of I'm just talking about MLB, let's just say all the major 4 in the United States of America, they'll go to a place that isn't a typical place just to show some love for the smaller school. Mm-hmm. They'll go to a Cleveland. They won't go to Buffalo, but they'll go to a Cleveland. They might come to Detroit since we have LCA. Baseball does it. They might go to Milwaukee or places like that. Every once in a while, you got to change it up to show some love because outside of that, they're always in the same place. I mean, how many times has the All-Star game been in Staples in the last 10 years?
Yeah, true.
How many All-Star? Are you guys All-Star fans? It's like back in the day.
Yes, absolutely.
I've been
Dominique Wilkins.
I've been
Michael
to 3
Jordan.
of them. I haven't been to the Pro Bowl, but I've been to 2 NBAs, a couple of NHLs, and a bunch of MLBs. And I love the All-Star games. Being there, not just watching it.
All-Star, I've done both. I think when I trained in Denver in 2005 for the NFL draft, and that's where the All-Star game was. So it became like a every year thing. I went in 2005. I went in 2006, it was in Houston. I went in 2007, it was in Vegas. And then I just said I wasn't going again because All-Star games, the element that is an All-Star game is very annoying. Like to try to get into a club for a party, whether you have tons of money or not, it's just annoying. It's a headache. Shopping is a headache. Eating at restaurants is a headache. It's just it's a nuisance in the city. It's just not fun. Like NFL, you go to Super Bowl events, more corporal, like more corporation involved.
Always,
smooth, classy, it's fun. I told myself after they were shooting in Vegas in 2007, I said, you know what? I'll pass on the All-Star game. I'll just watch this stuff from the house.
Do you think that's the reason the NBA hasn't gone to Vegas yet because of that game?
They were in Vegas.
I'm
because
talking about they should have a team.
Yeah, the reason why in football is a little different, is it really? You saw what happened with them this year, is basketball players have a lot more freedom than football players do. So football players, you can kind of regulate for the most part. Basketball, you bring guys into the city, they have a party always the night before, insert opposition that's flying into Vegas, they're going to have a party in some club. They don't play until late. A lot of things they do in the NBA are a lot later. It's a lot more distraction for NBA players that have a lot more loose restrictions on them. So it's tough to do basketball in Vegas until you just really see that everybody is Klay Thompson. or Steph Curry. Everybody's nose is clean.
I mean, forget about it. It's tough to do life.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tough to do life in Vegas.
That's why I'm saying Harbaugh's wife wants no part of that city.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, we assume
That's
that.
just my opinion.
I know. I will tell you, Vegas or anywhere else. I do think she likes being in Ann Arbor. But we're going to start with this Harbaugh stuff again, because we're going to talk to Hondo about the Raiders coaching search in just a couple of minutes. With every day that passes, Braylon Edwards, I am getting more convinced that Jim Harbaugh is going to leave the University of Michigan. So a couple of things about that. One, God bless him, and hopefully he's doing what he has to do to make sure that Michigan is in a good position moving forward. Two, I'm hoping Ward Manuel has already planned for this day to when Jim Harbaugh leaves. Because, again, with every day moving forward, I think he's going to leave. And that's just a hunch. But that's what it is.
Yeah, if you're Ward Manuel, you would be terrible at your job if you hadn't been preparing for this day. We've been talking about Jim Harbaugh potentially leaving the University of Michigan in terms of when he didn't have success, and now here he is success. I think a plan has been in place for about the betterment of at least the last 3 years, especially after he walked into that office and they had that negotiation and they got his contract down to 4.3 as opposed to where it was. They have some short-list guys that they're ready for, and the shortlist guy, one of them could be on the team, and that is Mike Hart. So I think they are prepared for that. But being prepared and being prepared are two different things, man. Sure. I know I'll always say things twice, but, having a season like you did last year where you essentially surprise everybody, like including yourselves. Like Jim Harbaugh talked about it, like including himself. You win 12 games, you go 11-1, you beat Ohio State, you beat Iowa in the Big Ten Championship, you go and play Georgia in the Orange Bowl. Like, that's a major year. It's hard to recover. So whoever you have on that short list, and even if they say yes or they can consider it, it's still tough to replace what Jim Harbaugh was and what he is right now.
Without question. So we'll talk to Hondo about that coming up. I do want to just point out this. Jim Harbaugh, it's being reported, did speak to the Chicago Bears about their head coaching vacancy.
Guess who tweeted that out?
Hub Arkish. Hub Arkish tweeted that out.
That bum, according to Aaron Rodgers, that bum.
That guy no one heard of?
They said it was a quick conversation, so Hub Arkish tweeted that. We got a lot more. We'll talk to Hondo Carpenter. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 freaking years, so they must be doing something right to be in business for over 9 decades. Now, whether you're home or business, you need a good defense. It helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control your lights, your temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, even going to let you lock and unlock your doors. All you have to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's right. Stay out. Everybody on the YouTube chat, do it with me. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Stay out of there.
Get the hell out.
Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. Absolutely. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. We're going to talk to Hondo Carpenter, the publisher, Sports Illustrated, Las Vegas Raiders maven, also Spartan Nation. But Braylon, I wanted to put up a couple of tweets for you if I could.
Are they mine?
No, they are not.
I had to be nervous. I was like,
they are not your tweets. First
Okay.
and foremost, the one from Hub Arkish, which it's actually somebody else that says that Hub Arkish was on the NBC Sports Chicago, The Rush. Chicago Bears have had a brief phone conversation with Jim Harbaugh. So when Jim Harbaugh is telling recruits he is entertaining the thought of going back to the NFL. This is an example of Jim Harbaugh entertaining the idea of going back to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, as he should. He said that he was going to entertain that. He was very honest, very forthright with that. He said that he was going to take some, he's going to entertain some ideas of potentially see where he can go. You want to test the waters. I think, and there's nothing wrong with that. Michigan fans should be appreciative that he wants to test the waters, because you don't want to look back 5, 10, 15 years from now, not having tested the waters and wondering, what if? I can tell you this, Chicago ain't it.
No.
I know he has ties, but in the 30 years of Chicago football, the last 30 years, Chicago Bears, 6 times they've won 10 or more games. Go ahead.
I was going to say, why that conversation was a quick phone conversation?
It was respect.
That was respect from Jim Harbaugh, from his former organization that he played for, the coach that he loved, Mike Ditka.
Most yards he ever had passing in the NFL was 1991 in Chicago. It was 3,147 yards.
And that was to tell the Chicago Bears organization, thanks, but no thanks. It's either Michigan or the Raiders.
I'll tell you, man, I think his wife probably would have said, all right, I'll go to Chicago. Really.
It's great shop.
What a great city.
What do you have against Vegas?
It's not a family place. It's coming up. It's coming up. But it's not, man. It's just not. It's not the Chicago. It's not the Chicago Bears.
Right.
It's Vegas. I love the Raiders. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. The Raiders were always one of my favorite teams. The silver and black, commitment to excellence, 9 yards.
But true though. But
Chicago, man.
The one thing about family cities, as it relates to coaches, as it relates to players, is the bubble that you're gonna live in. It doesn't matter where you go.
Yes.
Like, you can go to Santa Fe, New Mexico. You can go to Vegas. You can go to
Iowa,
Fort Lauderdale,
whatever.
Iowa here, because the bubble that you're gonna live in the same neighborhood, around the same vicinity. Other coaches, what do other coaches have? Kids. They have wives. You're gonna live around the same players.
Going to private school.
Players have kids. They have wives. So that particular entity lives in a bubble where it doesn't matter. It's not like us now uprooting and going somewhere and we're like, dang, like, what's a good place? Okay, well, Jersey's not a bad place if you live in a certain point. We're really focused on that as regular individuals. They're not regular. They live in a bubble that they'll always be okay.
You're right. And Vegas, like I said, it's on the ups, man.
Right.
It's becoming bigger and bigger by the day.
I think they're building outward, too, from the Strip, and that's what's helping out, too.
Also, so CBS puts out a tweet predicting which coaches would go to what team. Now, again, there was another online site, a betting site, that had Jim Harbaugh a plus 250.
Yep.
He is the plus 250 favorite, meaning if you bet 100, you win 250 that Jim Harbaugh takes the Raiders job. That's a very heavy favorite, I guess you'd say.
5-2 was one of the odds as well.
When it comes to this. So we'll see that tweet in a minute, but it predicts where these coaches are going to go. Jim Harbaugh is predicted by the CBS tweet to go to the Las Vegas Raiders. That so many people believe that he's going. Just to run down the list for you, Braylon: Byron Leftwich to the Jags, Jonathan Gannon to Houston, Dan Quinn to the Broncos, Brian Flores to the Giants, Doug Peterson, the former Eagles coach, would go to the Minnesota Vikings, Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator from Buffalo, going to Chicago, Eric Bieniemy going to Miami, and Jim Harbaugh going to the Raiders. If you're watching on YouTube, we certainly appreciate it. You get to see that list right there. But Jim Harbaugh to the Raiders, and then, according to this prediction, 3 African-American head coaches fill openings out of the 6-7 spots that are in there too.
Yeah, I believe when I see it. Yeah, it would be great when it happens. But looking at that, Byron Leftwich is a name in which we mentioned. I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. That would be a really good one. He has ties. Obviously, that's where he cut his teeth in the Professional Football League. He played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He knows that franchise well. It's not too far from where he's at now, man. So that would be a really good one. And not talking about all of them. I want to focus on that one. He's showing you what he knows with the offense. He got a guy like Tom Brady that vibes well. Anytime that you can catch Tom Brady plus 40 and have like the respect and they vibe well and he brings you in, like says a lot of good things about him. And the offense when it's clicking, it looks extremely well. And he was the guy that they listened to when he played. I mean, heck, he's a leader. Who can ever forget the picture of him being carried by his teammates at Marshall when his ankle was messed up? Shows what kind of guy he is, and I think that would be a good spot for him.
You know, just getting back to this Harbaugh thing, Rob J writes this on the YouTube chat. Why would Elston have gone there? Why would he have left Notre Dame to come to Michigan if, in fact, Jim Harbaugh was going to leave? And I think we read too much into that. Number one, and I think it was Stan who said this yesterday, you have to go business as usual if you're Jim Harbaugh. Yeah. You got to get the car. You got to do all the things that you got to do because it's business as usual. And number two, Elston, a defensive coach at Notre Dame, who maybe he wanted that head coaching job when Brian Kelly left.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't know what that he's been there for 10 years. So he gets.
He's also older.
He's older.
He's also older.
So he got passed up potentially for being the Notre Dame head coach, elevated to being the Notre Dame head coach in lieu of Coach Freeman, who gets that job. Maybe, and again, this is just I'm just kind of putting two and two together. Maybe you just have to do something different. If you were a guy that was passed over for a promotion, essentially, you know, do you got to get out of there? Or can you stay there? You know what I mean? Do you have to make a move? Yeah. And, hey, you go to another preeminent college football program in the country that's 3 hours away from where you are.
Yeah, it's essentially like breaking up with your girlfriend and she's dating a guy that works with you. Like, and you got to look at that guy every day. And you're like, you know what? I just need a change. I need a change of atmosphere because I can't look at the guy and now I'm switching it to the actual the metaphoric part of the story. I can't look at the guy that I believe I'm more qualified than him. I can't keep looking at the guy and actually be coach or actually work for the guy that I think I'm better than. I'm more qualified than. I got to see this guy every day and know that they passed up on me and my qualification for this younger individual. You know what? With respect to Coach Freeman, I'm just going to go to a program at the right time. Michigan is a program, they finally beat Ohio State. They win 12 games. They won the Big Ten. They played in the playoff. So I think it's leaving because of that and coming in at the right time.
Without question. So that's just a couple of different ways to look at that thing. Now, if he comes here and he gets, Mike Hart takes the job or whatever, you're kind of in the same spot. But just related to your own life.
Well, at least it's only
And he's not been here and doesn't know the program and all that stuff. So it wouldn't be the same thing. It's not apples to apples for sure. Right. But just correlate that to your own life. I mean, how many times in your own job have you seen somebody get passed up for an opportunity and then they leave because they didn't get the opportunity and they go somewhere else? We're going to take a break. Come right back. We'll have Hondo Carpenter for you next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Woodward Sports. This part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
All right, it's that time of day. Braylon here with Woodward Sports Network, talking about Gypsy Vodka, something that is very, very good. Michigan's own gluten-free vodka. Shout out to Adam and Mike, because they have a winner, and they have had a winner with this one for quite some time now. Corn distilled 6 times with artesian spring water. There you go. I missed you,
Fish. That's it, baby.
Hey, say it one more time for me, Fish. I missed you, buddy. There we go. Corn distilled 6 times with artesian spring water. Also, 50 formulas went into making this the #1 vodka, at least in my mind, in Michigan. Gluten-free, and like I said, this stuff is amazing. Go to your local liquor store and ask for Gypsy Vodka. Trust me, they have it. They can't keep this thing in, but trust me, if you tell them Ryan sent you, they'll give you something out the private stash. That's our word. But if you're going to drink responsibly at all times.
How's everybody doing today on a Wednesday? Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We would love it if you would give us a follow on Woodward Sports, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. And
You're huge on TikTok.
Me?
Yeah. They love you.
Do they?
They do.
Very
the
good.
The MSU people love you. My daughters are always saying, my daughter always tells me, Dad, your TikToks are really hitting it here at Spartan Land.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good on TikTok there. And, of course, download that Woodward Sports app on Apple, Google Play. You can listen to us on the radio, on the Roar, 99.1 FM, 93.5 FM, and 94.7 HD2 FM. You can download the podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google podcast, and Amazon Music. So, guys, without further ado, let's get to them. You may recognize the name. Always used to cover the Spartans for, back in the day. I say back in the day like it was like 25 years ago. Hondo Carpenter now covering the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, the Raiders. Hondo, how you doing, my friend?
Ryan and Maz, it's always good to be with you. Braylon, you've broken my heart more than more women in this world with all your great exploits for the Wolverines against the Spartans. Great to talk to you, and I tip my hat, Braylon, to one of the best players who ever played in the state of Michigan.
Well, Hondo, I really appreciate that, and I'm hoping now we can start our own friendship since I no longer play at Michigan. So I'm hoping that now I'm in the same business as you. We can start a great relationship.
Absolutely. You always had my respect, so I
really appreciate that. Thank you.
Hondo, first and foremost, you're dialed into the Raiders. What do you make of this Jim Harbaugh to the Raiders? There's a lot of smoke here. And, in fact, I think, just my opinion, I think he's going to the Las Vegas Raiders. I think he'll take that job. What do you make of it? Just where do you sit right now?
Well, first of all, I had been reporting for a couple of years that I was hearing from people in the NFL that Jim wanted to make the jump. And I'm going to say this right now to all the Wolverine people who complained and moaned and about him, and then boom, he takes a pay cut, and all of a sudden they want to pay him and they want him back. You know what? Part of this is on you guys. Who else were you going to get that could deal with the pressures of Michigan and handle all the things at Michigan? Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. He wasn't at Michigan because he had nowhere to go. He was at Michigan because he loved it. So I think Jim Harbaugh would absolutely jump for the right opportunity in the National Football League. I have not talked to Jim. I'm not trying to imply that I have. But I'm telling you, it is widely believed around the NFL he wants to come back. And if given the right opportunity, he will. Now, he's not stupid. Anyone that's ever called Jim Harbaugh stupid clearly doesn't know the man. He's extremely intelligent. He's going to go to a place that he can win. As far as the Raiders, right now, I reported it this morning, Rich Bisaccia, as we speak, is meeting with Mark Davis, the owner, pleading his case. And I'm going to tell you right now, all of that locker room wants Rich Bisaccia to be the head coach. So whoever comes in here, if Rich doesn't get it, has to understand he's walking into a locker room that's not too thrilled that they're there. And that's not always the case with coaching changes, which, Braylon, you're well aware of in your time in the league. And that's something a guy has to look at. But I'm going to tell you this. If Rich Bisaccia does not get the job, I think it's going to be a two-man race. I think that Mark Davis could go out and make a big trade like the Buccaneers did with his dad to get John Gruden for a coach. But if he goes with somebody he's not going to have to trade, I think that phone call is going to be to Jim Harbaugh, and I think Jim Harbaugh would be the next coach of the Raiders. I heard someone say the other day, well, I don't know if the Raiders can afford him. Give me a break.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave John Gruden 10 years, $100 million large. Just to come here. Money will have
before it was fashionable.
Right, yeah. Before it was cool to give a coach $100 million.
And it melted. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Hondo, I wanted to ask you about Bisaccia because this is a wild card here. Because that team does love him, they do want him to be their head coach. How much of a role, knowing Mark Davis, will that play in this? Does Mark Davis kind of just say, I got to do what's best in my heart for the team, or I hear what you're saying, guys, we'll make him the head coach?
You know, that's a great question, and I'm going to go back and I want to refresh your memories with Tom Izzo and Bo Schembechler. Two guys that I know, this won't make me real popular in the state of Michigan, but are very similar in a lot of ways. Both guys care about their former players. They matter to them. They cared about them. They paid attention to them. And so in the Raiders organization, it's the only organization in the National Football League where those players are revered and those former players revered and loved and brought back like Izzo does at Michigan State and like Bo did at Michigan. So it's a very unique situation. And it's not one or two players. It is every single player wants Rich Bisaccia back. He is a rare guy. He's able to put a boot in your ass and still hold your heart. And they love him. They appreciate him. You know, it's like we did a story on him sending handwritten thank you cards to every player after the year. And he goes into his press conferences, and he takes all the blame, never the credit. And he's a super nice guy. But on that field, he is a butt kicker. And they respect him because and I'll give you an example of Rich Bisaccia. When he's teaching with film, he never uses a guy's name. I'd love Braylon's thoughts on this. But if he's ripping a guy or praising a guy, he'll say, hey, 7'6", good job. Or hey, 8'4", or 1, or whatever the number is. He only uses their name when he's talking to them as men. And he tells them, I don't want you to ever think my criticism is of you, the man. So when I use criticism, I'll use your number. Other than that, then I'll use your name. And that's just the kind of guy he is. And I think he's got a real shot. Do I think he's got a 50% shot? No, I don't. I think, and unfortunately, because I think he's the one that should get the job. He's earned it. But if Mark Davis doesn't go that way, I think the only other wild card would be a trade or Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I agree. It's very rare that you do have someone that does that, and you understand what the purpose is for. It's for separating. There's a football player, and there's the man that wears the jersey. It's the guy that's underneath that goes home to his wife and his children. So it's amazing that a guy would do that. I am in favor of Rich Bisaccia staying. With that being said, I'm going to switch gears. I know Maz has more about Vegas, the Raiders. I want to get back to some Michigan State stuff, man. When you see Mel Tucker get that deal last year, and he's the first one before, the deal at USC for Lincoln Riley, before Brian Kelly gets to deal with LSU, which was not where he wanted. But what did you think when you initially see that Mel Tucker, a guy that hasn't won the Big Ten, a guy that hadn't won 10 games or more yet, is being offered this type of money at this time in the climate in NCAA?
I thought two words, Matt Ishbia. And let's just be real. And Matt Ishbia, former basketball player, stepping up the pump and writing a big check, or that would not have been what happened with Mel Tucker. Listen, I think Mel's a good coach. I think Mel has done a very good job at Michigan State. But let's also understand, you paid him, 10 mil, roughly 95 million, which was John Gruden money, only behind Nick Saban after 3 years of coaching. Now you're married to him. Yeah. And I'm just saying, I hope he turns out to be a guy. Certainly he's looked at a guy that deserved a big contract, but that big? That Michigan State rolled the dice, and they would not have rolled the dice had there not been Matt Ishbia money coming in to help pay with the university. That's for sure. But I thought it was a big roll of the dice by Michigan State. Again, done a very good job. Clearly, Braylon, you know this. This is not a lie. It's just the truth. At Michigan State, beating Michigan is everything. They live for it. It's their passion. It's the biggest deal in the world to them. Now, Michigan State may not like it, and I think under Jim Harbaugh, the rivalry's been more embraced. But I'm telling you, at Michigan State, that means a lot. But when you're paying $95 million over 10 years, and the only guy getting paid more is Nick Saban, it's about a lot more than beating Michigan. And that, to me, it was a. If you're going to gamble, you gamble on Tucker. But if you're going to gamble, it's a big risk to take. And if Matt Ishbia's money wasn't there, no way do I think this would have happened.
Hey, Hondo, here's a quick follow-up to that, because this is a thought that I've had. You talk about Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia basically came on board, he and another alum, and they said, you know what, we'll match what he's making now enough to go up to that $95 million, up to that $10 million. If something happens with, let's say, Mel Tucker or the next guy that comes in state or wherever else this is happening, can you now offer a coach less than that $10 million because you're offering what the school wants to pay? Like, is that something that still can come into play, or do you have to match the 10 for everybody that comes in after Mel Tucker?
Braylon, that's a great question, and it's one I would expect from somebody like you that thinks outside the box. Let's go to Jim Harbaugh. You know, where are all the Michigan fans on all the message boards bitching about Harbaugh last year and the guy takes a massive pay cut? Massive pay cut. Well, I think there's a good chance your coach is going to end up in the NFL if somebody writes him the right offer, and now all of a sudden you want to pay him? And I don't think Jim is jumping for the money, guys. Anybody that knows Jim or been around him, that's not the kind of guy. But you know what? It is about respect. And I think all of a sudden now the next guy you bring in, you're absolutely right, Braylon. You and I both know it's like paying a free agent a ton of money, and you know you got a guy coming up at the end of his rookie deal. You don't think he's going to want more? So, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that is a big deal. I think Michigan State has now set the bar at where it is. And so if Mel Tucker leaves, Michigan State now has painted themselves into a corner, and it's going to be fascinating to watch how that plays out.
Hondo Carpenter joins us out now. Las Vegas covers the Raiders, covers the Spartans here in Michigan as well. Hondo, we only got time for a quickie here, but Derek Carr, do you see him as the quarterback of the Raiders going forward? Because we're hearing rumblings. Not only will Harbaugh come in and be a general manager and a coach, but he wants to bring maybe an Aaron Rodgers or someone of that ilk to the table with him. Russell Wilson was another name we hear. What are you hearing?
Well, here's a couple of things. Quickies do work. I got a couple of kids that were quickies. But moving along.
Yes, Hondo.
But I will say this to you. Derek Carr's an elite quarterback. And teams were lining up last year. The rumors have always been, well, Gruden doesn't like Carr, which is absolutely false. They'll get a haul for him. But then you got to figure out, what are they going to have to pay if they want a Russell Wilson? What are they going to have to pay if they want an Aaron Rodgers? I know Devontae Adams wants to come here and play with Derek Carr. So I think Devontae's an opportunity. And I'm going to say this. Derek Carr is an elite quarterback. And I think Derek Carr and a lot of other elite players on this team, and there's a lot of talent on this team, are watching today, wanting to see. Derek Carr's brother tweeted out of a video today of the scene of Rudy, where all the players came in and laid their jerseys on the desk saying they wanted Rudy to play. And you knew what his message was. All the players are wanting Rich Bisaccia to get this job. If Rich doesn't get it, I'm going to tell you right now, it would not shock me if anyone leaves or stays.
Wow.
Anyone. And I know that they could get a haul for Derek.
Wow.
And let's find out what they could get for everybody else.
I got about I got 30 seconds left, Hondo, and about a 10-minute answer, I'm sure, awaits. Have we heard from John Gruden at all? What is the latest with Gruden since he's been fired?
That's 20 minutes.
Very quickly, I'm going to have an update on this in a couple weeks once things settle down. But John Gruden has filed a lawsuit against the National Football League. And guys, the NFL is used to settling lawsuits. But you're going up against a guy that doesn't need the money. And I think John Gruden's going to go for a pound of flesh. It's why you don't see a specific amount. They want a jury to decide. He wants to get people in depositions. He wants to ask some people. And let me just say this to you. Not saying where I heard this, but I heard it. This is a guy that's not looking for a settlement. Because when you get to depositions, you can ask about anything.
Those are the most dangerous.
All his years in the league, you think he doesn't know where some skeletons are buried? This is a lawsuit, I'm told, that has the NFL scared because they can't pay him money and get rid of him now. John Gruden's out for blood. He's the great white, and for the first time in a long time, the NFL is the victim.
Yeah. Wow.
Dang. Hondo freaking Carpenter,
I love it,
we
man.
certainly appreciate your time.
We said it was going to be a lawsuit.
I told you, man.
Hondo, we'd love to have you back as this search continues, man. Thanks so much for making time for us. Continued success out there.
Love you,
really
man.
appreciate
My
it.
favorite
Hondo
Michigan
Carpenter.
State guy, man, right there.
Hey, I appreciate you, and again, Braylon, nothing but respect, man. If
Same.
you can't beat him, you want him with you.
Hondo, I appreciate that, buddy.
See ya, Hondo.
See ya, Hondo. Hey, a real treat for everybody next. He is Commander Dale freaking Brown.
Yes, sir.
Who?
Detroit
Detroit.
surviving the
Yes,
training,
let's go,
baby.
baby. We'll have him next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Hey, gang, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag, our studio sponsor and the place I put my sports wagering in. That's right. And you're a first-timer, this is the place for you. MyBookie, go on it right now. Use the promo code Woodward. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. You put $100 in, you get $100 back. Put $1,000 in, you get $1,000 back. Plenty for stuff coming up. You got the Kings and the Pistons tonight. You can bet that. The rest of the NBA and the NHL, and, of course, the divisional playoffs.
What about
coming
the Australian
up
Open?
Saturday and Sunday. That's right, the Australian Open. Don't bet Djokovic because he is not there, okay?
Go back
but
who?
Let's fish anyway.
Good. Go back to his country.
MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And if you have a gambling problem, please call the Michigan Gambling Problem Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Yeah, it is that time as you see Joey in the back getting set up with Commander Brown. He's creeping out right now. Extremely excited to have Commander Dale Brown on the show right now. Detroit D.U.S.T. That is Detroit Herbal Survivor Training. He has gone viral, and you took the internet by storm. I'm just excited to have you here, man, because in the beginning, I thought a lot of this stuff was fake, and I'm like, this stuff looks like some BS. But the more and more I watch it, I've seen some individuals that look positions that looks real. So, Commander Brown, how you doing, buddy?
Great. Thank you for having me.
I got to ask you, to see yourself on a Saturday Night Live sketch comedy,
unbelievable,
freaking Saturday Night Live, to see Odell Beckham Jr. do
end zone celebration,
do a move in an end zone celebration. Could you have ever imagined that you, Commander Dale Brown, would have been responsible for this wealth of pop culture phenomenon? Really what it is?
Absolutely not. No way possible. From the east side of Detroit to Saturday Night Live, impossible. This is impossible. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, I want to ask you, it's crazy. I was talking to a friend of mine, Ricardo Jenkins. Ricardo Jenkins used to be a sergeant over here at the 12th Precinct, and I told him you were coming on. Like, how did you get your start? So what is your level of expertise as it relates to all the training that you've had? What training qualifications do you actually professionally have?
Oh, well, first of all, I went to many years of martial arts training.
Okay.
And then I was in the military as an airborne paratrooper, and I was a private investigator when I got out of the military. They got a chance to use, then I went to Executive Protection Institute, which is a bodyguard training school on the East Coast. But none of that really prepared me properly for actually being in Detroit and protecting families from violent gangs. And so that's what I did, was I created a school that teaches self-defense, that teaches you how to use, how to fight on the ground, how to fight standing up, how to fight using a knife, a pistol, a shotgun, a rifle, a baton, environmental weapons, but learning how to legally defend yourself. So all the different schools I went to, no one ever taught, hey, legally, in order for you to defend yourself, you should do this, but not do that. This level of force requires this level of response. And so what I did was I made sure that, this a training school you could go to, because I created it right here in Detroit, so that you could create safety for your family safely, but also know how to do it legally. And that all started because the girl got chased off the bridge in '95.
I remember that.
And that's what changed me. So for me personally, instead of me thinking about a business, I thought these families really need to have somebody on that bridge. And if could it be me, then it should have been a student, somebody I could train that could have disarmed those individuals and then could have stopped that woman from chased off that bridge in front of her daughter, yanked out of the car, and the terrible things that happened to her as she jumped off the bridge and died in front of her daughter. So the whole point for me was, why don't we get this training into the hands of the people that really need it right here in Detroit, on the east side of Detroit, the area they call the Crack Alley. And I was able to stop the home invasions and murders within the first 6 months of getting hired by the building owners and getting volunteers from the community to go out and protect their buildings. So I got free apartments in the buildings. I got hired by the owners of the buildings to provide these volunteers, and they got free apartments, and I trained them, and we used our training to protect the families. And it turns out that when you make families safe, these poor families, working class families safe, the building owners got richer than ever before. They went from a 30% occupancy to a waiting list, and all the buildings in the area, all the businesses in the area started to thrive. It shows there's a direct correlation between protection and prosperity for everyone.
No, that's really, and you answered my second question. I was going to ask you, how did you get into D.U.S.T? Because I grew up in Detroit. I've been on the east side, west side. I went to King High School. I went to King, and I've been in situations where you wish you knew something, or you got to make a move.
Someone's there to help you.
Got to make a split decision. So yeah, I appreciate it off that standpoint.
You know, and Commander Brown, that's one of the things. You know, we talk about Saturday Night Live, and we talk about Odell Beckham Jr. and all the videos and all that stuff, which is all great. But if you empower somebody the ability to make them, and I'll use a word from your website, to be their own bodyguard.
That's it.
I mean, that is really something that I have to imagine means more to you than any Saturday Night Live skit or end zone celebration.
Absolutely. That's really what it's about. It's about empowering the individual to be self-reliant. So instead of providing them with something that you can't provide 24/7, you provide them with the knowledge so they're empowered to do it themselves.
What's the first thing people may ask you? They come to your class and they say, I want to know how to defend myself when X happens.
Well, now
is there a standard?
Now the first thing they do is come in and say, is this real? And so first thing we do is to do the demos.
I mean, is there a way we can do some demos?
Yes, absolutely, right here.
Corey,
show it,
man. Somebody? Corey, do we have somebody? Come on, Corey. Hey, man, good luck. Good luck.
Do you need me to hold the mic, or how do you need me to do it?
So a simple
We'll
thing.
let Fish come up there and hold the mic.
Fish, come on.
Come on up, Fish.
Come on up, Fish.
So, a lot of things we teach are really simple, and they're designed not to injure people. Specifically, what we focus on is how not to injure and how not to kill people by design. And so one of the things we show people how to do are really simple things. Like if you want to open someone's hand to make them let you go, you simply press here on the thumb, and by doing that...
Oh, what did you do there?
Make a fist. So if I want to open his hand is strong. We be wrestling all day. If I go right here, it opens right up.
Yeah, I got you.
There's no way I'm going to open this hand. This hand will never open.
Right.
But you come here like this, and what will happen by pressing the tip of the thumb.
I tried to be tough. You saw that? I tried to be tough. That SHIT was real.
Yeah. I'm glad. It will open the hand, and there's no marks. There's no injury. Which means there's no court dates.
You can get away with it.
You're not going to get sued.
You know what? Write that one down.
Right.
No court
That could be like someone grabbing your shirt, grabbing your jewelry, grabbing your hair. You want to get their hands off. One of the reasons why this is so important is one time the Pope was grabbed, and when the security went to get the person off the Pope, I think the person just wanted to hold the Pope.
Oh, yeah. That was like 2 years ago.
They knocked him down, and they knocked down the person holding the Pope, but actually pulled the Pope onto the ground. All you have to do is simply go to the thumbs and go here, and it opens the hand, and now you separate them without knocking the person down.
Yeah.
So this is what we use in executive protection, but also we can use to protect your own family, to get someone off your children, or off your own person without injuring someone. If someone grabs your wrist and you want to get free, grab hard. So he's grabbing hard, so I can't just muscle my way out. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to go in a circle over the thumb, and it comes right out immediately.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
And so that's because there's no way I'm getting out of this. There's no way I'm pulling free. So to get out of this, I'm going to take my hand and go here, and it's going to come right out. And that's because it's biomechanics. There's no muscle group here. To take control of someone, I'm not going to be able to muscle this guy. It's impossible. But I'm going to come here.
So I'll trip.
Yeah. To control, we're going to come right here and turn over. If he stays facing me,
I'm
coming
God.
here.
That's great.
And we control him here.
Yeah.
Braylon's down on the ground.
Down goes Braylon.
Down goes
And
Braylon.
you're not hurting people. You're not injuring them. So to control the person, you're coming here over the top, down, and now they're down, and you control them. You can talk to them without injuring them. Yeah. Hold them for police if necessary.
Commander Brown, I'm going to take a 30-second break. When we come back, I want to see what you do against a knife and a gun. How about that? We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
What was Sports Network? The bottom line. Man.
Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
All right, gang, right back here with Commander Dale Brown. You may know him as Detroit D.U.S.T, Detroit Urban Survival Training. It is such a useful tool be able to protect yourself in any situation, robbery, armed robbery, guns, knives, whatever the case may be. Commander Brown, what if you are faced with an armed situation?
Here we go. He's going to point it right here. And if I try to grab the gun, he's going to shoot the gun. If I try to grab it, cock it again. Okay, hold it. All right. And if I try to grab it, you're gonna shoot.
Yeah, you missed that one. I'm talking about you missed that bullet.
Yeah.
You blocked it.
Try again. Okay, just point at me. It's ready to go.
So what's the basic principle here?
It's ready to go.
Basic principle.
Yep, point it right here. So the reason why this misses is because his brain, by the time he saw me move, it was 2,000 of a second. My brain, I moved my head with first movement, which is 1,000 of a second. So by the time his brain sees me move, yep, we cock it again. Can you show it again? When I move, I'm not there. He knew I was going to move too. So what happens is by the time the brain sees it, it's too late. I moved, and now we grab the weapon, and he holds tight, hold tight. When a person holds the weapon, it doesn't matter because there's no muscle groups to stop that action.
Right. So
now you actually control the weapon.
You're always trying.
If you don't want to shoot them, you just strip it from them.
Yeah, not
You're always trying to go towards the thumb.
Yes.
It seems like.
Yes. The thumb is the weak point, and it's biomechanics. It's not strength. This person is way too strong to try to overpower him. But you go outside the muscle groups, and then you can bypass them, and then you can dominate the threat. So it's the same thing with a knife. If we want to take the knife out of the hand, he's holding hard. We're going to come here, and it comes right out.
Wow.
And that's in all motions. Like,
So we're here. We're taking the side of our hand, right to the side of the blade, and it comes right out.
Wow.
So it's not strength. It's because there's no muscle groups to stop that action on top of the thumb. You can also use it here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And coming here. It comes in. You can actually turn it in and strip it from them, and now you have the weapon.
Wow.
Hey, man, I want no problem.
No, I don't think
simple
anybody
techniques. Very simple. Everything we teach is done within 3 moves or less, too.
But let me ask you this, Commander Brown. How did you get to this point of knowing the release points and biomechanics and knowing there's no muscles there and being able to do this? Because that takes a level of practice and maybe real field work. Does this in-field work too?
Absolutely. You have to. It's one thing to scrimmage, but you have to actually go get the feedback from the game.
Yeah.
And we had these volunteers called gang members that came out to voluntarily come to kill us. And when they did that, we got a chance to see the difference between real aggression and fake aggression. Right, and then we were able to
get out of here,
see what really happens. So there's a big difference, and that's where the training looks so different, because when you're doing things in a sterile environment where no one has real intention,
like a controlled,
right? Like we're scrimmaging with the same team members, we're not trying to really hurt each other. Sure. Now you're out there in a real game, and someone's really trying to knock you down, and that's totally different energy. Same thing goes when people are fighting. So if someone's fighting in a sport, that's a certain type of fighting. If they're fighting outside that sport, there's a different type of aggression and level of intention, and that's very important in survival. So what we do is make sure that you have the understanding psychologically of how to interpret body language, how to project body language, because that's really what you need to keep yourself safe, is understanding human behavior. That's more important than the physicality. So if you can read people and you can read situations better, you can outmaneuver, adapt, and accomplish your objectives.
Hey, Ryan, I got something for you.
Go ahead.
Commander, this is Easy, our main man, Easy. What do you do with a man of this size? He thinks he could beat Bruce Lee, by the way, one-on-one. I just want you to know that. What can you do? What can you do with Easy?
Size.
Come on up, Easy. Come on up, Easy.
You're not
Come on up
there.
Come on up, Easy.
Come on now.
First of all, can he beat Bruce Lee?
Probably yes. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
So examples of guys, the bigger person, and they're blocking your way, and you got to move them. I can't just grab this guy and just start moving him. So we're going to move him. We're going to put our hand here. And we're going to move our body. So what happens is their whole body.
Oh, wow.
I saw that flex right there too. I saw that flex. I saw that tricep on you there.
It's all mechanics though. Yeah. If you want to move him, I would come here, and I don't want to be tackling the guy and be caught up. I'm going to come right here, turn the head.
Into the board. Now look, this is something I think is an important point.
Walking because forward, I don't want to stop him. I don't want to try to wrestle him and see if he can.
I saw this
push me. Yep. Push forward. Yep. Come here.
Right up under his nose.
Yes.
I think this is
push the person to the ground. You actually stick your finger.
I saw that. I saw what you do with the MMA.
Yeah.
Recently, UFC guy.
Yes.
I do think this is an important point though to make. Is this takes practice. This is why you do the classes. This is why you do the training.
Very little practice though. Actually, most of the things, if you notice, they're really simple. Yeah. And what happened is I got people that came back to me. So I've been doing this 26 years. So I got people that came back to me with great stories of how they used it, and they were showing something by a cousin. that I showed one time in a demonstration. Then the cousin used it somewhere in Mexico on vacation. So, yeah, you can use this stuff very easily. It's very simplistic, very practical.
One more point I wanted to make about this, because if you are ever faced, basically what I'm trying to ask is, where does the mental aspect come into this? Because it's one thing to do it in training, but when you're staring down the barrel of a gun, being robbed or whatever the case may be, your home is invaded, that's a very different thing. What mental aspect, what mental principles should you have because if you've got the training, the physical training, I know I can do this, but then you can freak out.
Remember this, people play football without training.
Yeah,
I played football before. I didn't have any training.
This is true.
So you can do all kinds of things without any training. You just have an idea what to do. When you're in survival mode, you're going to have 3 responses: fight, flight, or freeze. And you don't even know which one it is. But what you can do is consciously program yourself. I jumped out of airplanes and helicopters as an airborne paratrooper, something I would never do as an adult, right? Professional adult. I'm not doing, I can buy a plane and jump out. I'm not doing either one of those things right now, and I will never jump out of a perfectly good working aircraft. But in the military, I convinced myself by following my training that I will overcome my fear of coming out of an aircraft that's flying just fine. That's me programming my mind to make a decision, to overcome my natural instincts to stay safe, right? So you do the same thing when someone tries to harm you. You would decide, hey, if someone tries to take my family member from me, tries to abduct my family member, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to resist. So you already made that decision, and now what happens is when someone came to you and they want to take your family member away from you, you know you're not going to let that happen because you already thought of this ahead of time. You're not going to panic. You actually have a plan, and that's to resist. And then what we did was give you a lot of biomechanical understanding of, grabbing the gun and where you grab the gun, and that would increase your survivability, which is what we're teaching. So understanding psychology is how you're able to subconsciously or constantly program your subconscious response. So you're not developing a fear-based response, and you're also not panicking. And panic is always the result of a lack of known options. So the more you know, the better and safer you are.
Yeah, after talking to you and getting my finger darn near broken, I think the minuscule question you'll ask, like anybody looking at you and watching you on videos will be, oh man, this isn't real, and how do you feel about when people say it's not real? But to hear you talk and to hear your rhetoric and hear your experience, and you don't care about any of that because this is tried, true, and proven. And that's why I'm laughing at myself now and other people, because you're like, I know this is, so I don't even focus on that.
It's just fun, right? Yeah. The SNL sketch was funny. I was like, wow, that looks like me on there. My wife showed it to me. I was like, hey, that looks like me. What am I doing on Saturday Night Live?
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, very fun.
What's funny is I didn't realize what Odell Beckham Jr. was doing in the end zone celebration until Jessica Dupnack did the story on you on Fox 2. Right. And then I was like, oh my God, that's what he was doing?
Yeah, it's amazing. Then we got some people that are trying to hook us up out there. We were just out in LA with Snoop Dogg.
I saw that.
Snoop Dogg shared our video saying, oh, look at this is crazy, it's not going to work. Yeah. When I went out there, we did gun disarm. Snoop Dogg was like, this is amazing.
The girl you worked with out there was great too. Nalita is her name, with the weapons,
awesome.
The weapons expert.
Man,
that was a dope one
yes,
too.
Yes, Sensei Bay, she is awesome.
Exactly.
Her skill, man. I showed her our baton tactics. She got it. A lot of times it takes people like months to learn that. She got it in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, she's clean.
30 seconds.
She's cold.
You are so popular. I'm sure people try to hire you all over the place, but you stay here in Detroit. What's the reason for that?
It's home.
Well, this is our home, right? We protect a lot of families here in Detroit, and our school's right here on Woodward, straight down the street from you guys right here. And this is where we need to show that we can create safety safely in Detroit, and we can continue to do that in other cities, states, and countries. And we have people that want us in other cities, states, and countries. Yeah. So we're proud that we started right here in Detroit, and our goal is to take the message, the training, and the outcome to other cities, states, and countries as well.
Hey, Matt, maybe we can have Jeff Goff's bodyguard get trained by the
he should have been the bodyguard when Goff came
Jared
to town.
Goff walked in when he first moved from L.A. to Detroit with a bodyguard.
to Birmingham.
What are you doing with that?
Birmingham.
He didn't know. He didn't know any better. He saw 8 Mile. That's all it was.
Yeah, right. People have inappropriate fear.
Yeah, this is true. Man, this is amazing.
How do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, where do people find you?
Detroit Threat Management Center on YouTube and on Instagram, Detroit _D.U.S.T.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Detroit_Dust. Detroit-Dust.com is the website as well. Detroit-Dust.com is the website. Commander Dale Brown, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome
Commander.
stuff. Awesome stuff. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Yes, sir. All right, we're going to take a break. Come right back. We'll get into some Pistons talk, also some NFL talk as well. Lions coaching, we know what rosters they will have. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line, Woodward Sports Network.
And that's what we do.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. What is folding? Well, it's the original football game. You throw a football at bowling pins, and it was invented by Chris Hutt. Go down and see Chris and Noni Hutt right there in Hamtramck. Great hosts for the Folding Warehouse. Tell them the good people here at Woodward Sports sent you. Host your corporate party or team building event. 2 ways to play, $10 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. You can do that all. You can also bring your own food in or have it delivered. How about drinking? Well, they got over 100 beers and a $2 mystery beer machine to boot. Multiple full bars
45.
as well. Yeah, they got the Colt 45 in that machine. No sweat. You bring the food or have it delivered in. Come get your fold on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
You recovered?
Ouch! No, all BS aside, a lot of people that saw my page knew we were going to have Commander Brown in today, and 90% of people said, you can expect what they said. It's fake. You got this clown coming on, etc. People, I'm here to tell you, it's real. Like, he's been doing this for 26 years in terms of his qualifications, his experience. It's real. The things he's telling you, it's some real stuff. I did more research before he came in, and I had a feeling it was real coming into it, and I really have the feeling now, like, what he does is real, and he's actually saving lives, and I commend him, and I am an advocate now.
Unbelievable, because you kind of tower over him too. So it's a good example of a bigger man, smaller man.
So he did with easy.
Yeah. I mean, just
that's why I had to send the Woodward heavyweight up there. You imagine putting Commander Dale with Guardian Alarm? There's no possible way that anyone can get in anywhere.
Stay out.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Right. Hey, guys, I want to get quickly to the Senior Bowl situation. We now know the roster in which the Detroit Lions will coach. The Jets get an allotment of players, and the Lions get an allotment of players.
The Lions are considered the American team, and the national team are the Jets.
All right.
So here's your different positions.
So let's just go down the row here, Sawyer, if you would. We'll start with the linebackers. The linebackers that the Lions will have to choose from. Nobody really on that list. 2 Georgia players in Tyndall and Walker. Those guys will be talked about a lot. I don't know about first-round picks, but those guys will get a lot of publicity.
But those are this is why you do this game.
This is why
you can get those later picks.
You get a first-hand look at these players.
I'll tell you like this, though. A player that the Lions should look at right now, and they should be paying attention to heavy, the Michigan Wolverines saw him as Quay Walker. Quay Walker's number 44.
Okay.
Quay Walker is the guy that tossed Stuber and then made the neck tackle on Hassan Haskins in the second half. It was an amazing tackle. It was a strong play. Very underrated player for Georgia last year.
For the defensive linemen, this is who they get in the Senior Bowl. They do get a look at another Georgia guy, Devontae Wyatt, an Alabama guy, Mathis. So there's some guys on that list. I like the player from Georgia, Will Anderson. Not Will
Alabama.
Anderson.
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
Well, he don't need to be at the Senior Bowl.
He don't need to be in the Senior Bowl. No. Offensive linemen, I don't think they're going to have.
You never know.
You never know. You might take a depth guy in the 4th, 5th round, but they don't have a 4th or 5th round pick. So, they have 2 firsts, a second, 2 thirds, and then they don't pick again until the 6th round unless they make a trade. As far as the running backs go, here's a look at the running backs. Connor Haywood from Michigan State. Brian Anderson had a nice game against Cincinnati and a nice season for him, Brian Anderson.
They're going to take one of these guys.
At Alabama. You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Tight end. I don't believe they're going to take a tight end.
Never
but if
know.
they did, this is who they have to choose from.
Do you want to pay Hawkinson, by the way, going
No,
forward?
I don't. That's why I thought they should have traded him last year. What about at quarterback? Now, these are the 2 position groups that everybody wants to know about. The quarterbacks that they have on their team, Malik Willis, Sam Howell, and Billy Zapp from Western Kentucky.
Michigan State knows about that guy.
Don't sleep on that guy.
Michigan State knows all about him.
Billy Zapp. Or Zappy, however you say. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I've seen him play 3 games this year.
That's Neil's guy.
And in all 3 games, that dude slings the ball around the field unlike any other. I mean,
on the other side, the Jets got Pickett and who's the other guy that we're missing?
Corral?
Yeah, Matt Corral.
Well, that's what's his name? Mel Kiper did a mock draft where he actually has Malik Willis going number 11 to the Washington Redskins, first quarterback taken off the draft. Now, here's where Howell comes in. Mel Kiper also has the Lions taking Sam Howell with their 2nd first-round pick. If they want to do that, they are going to have the benefit of being with him for an entire week, knowing everything that he can do, everything that he can't do, everything how he thinks.
I'm loving this.
Everything.
I'm loving this.
So if the Lions
it's like McDonald's.
If the Lions do take Sam Howell, I will feel more comfortable about it than if they did not have this week with him, a full week with him on the field, in meetings, at the dinner table, and everything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty much what we talked about yesterday, and I just talked about why would you go to a Senior Bowl and talked about the what it benefits as a coaching staff to be able to look at players, because you get a chance to, hey, that's my guy, hey, that's my guy. You get a chance to really learn these players. You get to understand what their mindset is. You get to understand, see them in competition. You can see them get beat. You can see them have success. You can see how they just interact. You can just see how they interact with fans, etc. So it's a really good, interesting thing to be there for the Jets and for the Lions, because I was looking at a situation like I saw James Cook play twice this year, and I loved him both times. Like, is it a situation where James Cook is a running back that you pick up in the 3rd round, whatever, but he's very similar to a DeAndre Swift, so it wouldn't make sense to have 2 of the same running backs. Everybody needs Cam Akers. I'm looking for the next Cam Akers.
Just another thing on this quarterback, because I see on the YouTube chat talking about Howell is the next Baker Mayfield, and I made that comparison yesterday. That's what I think. But I believe that Brad Holmes has done enough in last year's draft to give him the benefit of the doubt to say, hey, I've evaluated this player. This is the best player that I think can help our team move forward. I don't want to say right now that in Brad Holmes I trust, but Brad Holmes gets a lot of leeway when it comes to drafting guys because of what we saw this past season. 2 players on the all-rookie team in Penei Sewell and Aleem McNeil. We saw many more players than that he drafted be productive players.
Amon-Ra St. Brown should be on there. How's they not on there?
Well, you've got Jamar Chase.
I know.
But
and
you got
Jalen
Waddle.
Smith and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Well, he's right there.
Those guys are Pro Bowlers, though.
Right.
So it's tough. But
I'll tell you, I really believe the Lions are taking a quarterback with that 2nd first-round pick.
Yeah.
I truly believe it.
And you know what? If they do like a quarterback, they absolutely have to take the quarterback with the 2nd first-round pick, because you get the first round is the only round where you get the 5th-year option on a guy. So who do you want to? The quarterback is the guy that you take in that first round because of that 5th-year option. If you want to wait to the 2nd round, you're going to have to pay him after year 4. No, you don't want to do that. Because he's only probably going to play for you 3 years, because Goff will probably play next year for the Lions.
Go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. I want to just stay with the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's 2 teams that I think that have their quarterback but really don't. It's the Giants and Eagles. Eagles have 3 number 1s. The Giants have 2 number 1s.
What about the Dolphins?
The Dolphins, good point.
Great point.
Good point.
Yeah.
Now, those teams might want to trade up and get a quarterback for sure if the Lions are smart, and I think they are this time. They make it look like, maybe we do want Kenny Pickett at number 2 here. Maybe we do. And make these teams trade up, and maybe you pick up their 1st-round pick and maybe that 4th-round pick or the 5th-round pick that you're missing.
Yeah. It's not a bad thought.
No, what I was going to say is, I'm not one of those individuals that's a Detroit Lions fan.
Sure.
Like, I've never been a Detroit. I just want to clear the air on something right now. So it gives me more validity of a non-bias when I say things. I've never liked the Detroit Lions. I've never been a Detroit Lions fan. My dad played for the Detroit Lions, and I was a 49ers and Vikings fan growing up. So I've never been a Lions fan. So when I make comments, it's not because I'm this Lions homer. It's because it's what I feel. Now, with that being said, I'm saying you can trust Brad Holmes. I know it's always, you bite the or you drink the Kool-Aid a little too fast, or you jump on the bandwagon too fast. No, I believe in what they're doing. And for those reasons, you look at McNeil. He's our rookie team. You look at Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell could have been a Pro Bowler if he was in the AFC. If he was in the AFC, if Penei Sewell was in the AFC, he would be a Pro Bowler this year. You look at what Amon-Ra St. Brown has done. You look at Derrick Brown's had flashes. So you got to believe and trust a little bit in Brad Holmes. So I trust him. I love this, that they have the Senior Bowl. I love that this many players that are talented are playing in that Senior Bowl. They are going to do a really good job, and the Senior Bowl is going to be partly the reason why they do coming up in April.
Last position group, which is one in which the Lions absolutely have to take a player, is at wide receiver. Again, when will they take that wide receiver? Many people believe it'll be with that first pick of the second round. Not too many guys on here that I'm personally very excited about. Dontario Drummond from Ole Miss is a really good player. He was one of the top targets for Matt Corral at Ole Miss, played for Lane Kiffin. They had that high-flying offense.
I did see Velus Jones Jr. in that game against Alabama, where Tennessee was beating Alabama going into the fourth quarter. I did see him play. Fast guy, good off the line of scrimmage, good ball skills as well. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. But something about the wide receiver position, and this has been forever. This isn't something new this year. Wide receivers, typically like high wide receivers, I'm talking about first rounds, even the beginning of a second round, those type of wide receivers tend to not play in the Senior Bowl. I think the wide receiver position, because of the drills they do, you can get hurt easier playing wide receiver probably than any other position in terms of the jumping, going down, the cutting, one-on-one plays, things of that nature. So that's why you don't see a lot of the guys play that are the Ohio State wide receivers, Alabama wide receivers, and those top second-round receivers as well.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Again, just wanted to point out those are some of the players that the Lions will actually get firsthand knowledge of. They'll spend a week with them. They'll do everything: meetings, practice, dinner, lunch, breakfast, wake-up time, nighttime, lights out. I mean, all that stuff. You learn a lot about a player when you live with them, essentially, and that's what they'll do for the next week. We will have Rod Beard talking some Detroit Pistons.
Let's do it.
We see that trade rumor, that trade offer that was out there for Ben Simmons that apparently got rejected by the 76ers. We'll see what validity Rod Beard thinks there was to that, if Ben Simmons is still on the table here in Detroit. Also, one of the things we want to do next, did you see Bruce Arians just whack a player over the head this weekend? He got fined $50,000 for that. We will
wasn't enough.
We will have that video for you next. And honestly, when I first saw, I'll tell you what my reaction was, your reaction, Maz's reaction, lots of stuff. Kind of like a Woody Hayes moment a little bit. Ermanni Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness is home of a judgment-free zone where you can work out in non-intimidating judgment atmosphere, free atmosphere that is. I'm telling you, I don't know about you guys. When I work out, I just want to be in my own zone, man. I want to put my headphones on. I want to do my own thing. I want to drink my water. I want to be able to go and come and go as I please. I don't want to talk and look, feel a type of way. Just work out at my own pace. That's what you can do at Planet Fitness. Membership is just $10 a month or $22.99 if you want the black card. What's the black card, you ask? I'm glad you did. Members enjoy use of the amenities such as unlimited tanning. I know I like to get a good tan on. Psych, hydro massage chairs, and total body enhancement, along with access to over 2,000 locations worldwide, folks. We're not talking about just the United States of America. Worldwide. Get the bigger picture. Join today in club or online at www.planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness by you. Right now, $0 down or $10 a month. Planet Fitness, join now.
Look at that. Ermanni and Edwards, bottom line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan
How cool
Ermanni.
is Commander Brown?
Oh, man, we did have...
He's a great guy, too.
Commander Dale Brown, Detroit D.U.S.T, Detroit Urban Survival Training. He was in studio with us.
He's still behind you, by the way. He's in
Mike
the
G,
truck right there behind you.
Mike G on YouTube wants to know if Fish is out of the bathroom yet. He said, "Dust is gone, Fish. You could come out now."
There you go. Fish, what do you think of Detroit D.U.S.T?
I thought he was incredible.
There you go.
He taught skills that I never knew of.
Very good.
When you see things like that, especially when people make parodies of, because he's gone viral for people imitating his stuff and actually doing work with him, but then making TikToks and, trying his stuff in the field and ending up in heaven. They make some great jokes, some great parodies. Like when you see that stuff, your initial mindset wants to be like, you want to dismiss it. You want to say this is for the gram, as they say. This is BS. And I wanted to do that. I actually made jokes a couple months ago to Tom T. I told Tom T, this stuff right here get you killed.
Shout out to DJ Tom T, who's a regular listener, watcher.
A good friend. Like, I legitimately was like, this stuff will get you killed. And now my tune is completely different. This stuff will not get you killed. This stuff will save your life.
Just goes to show you, your perspective is a mother.
It is. You're right. It is. That stuff, it will help save your life.
Guys, I wanted to turn your attention to this. We didn't talk about it yesterday, but now that there was a fine associated with it, $50,000 to Bruce Arians for hitting one of his own players, slapped him on the back of the helmet. I still don't understand.
It's Andrew Adams.
Maybe because he was talking a little junk, but Bruce Arians slaps Andrew Adams on the top of the helmet.
Look at this.
What are you doing? And he wasn't even involved in what was going on. I mean, maybe it said something, but it was such a afterthought. But he whacked him on the head and fined $50,000. Braylon, I'll go to you first.
No, go to me last.
Okay. When I saw it, I initially thought, oh yeah, well, Adams must have done something good there. I thought he was like slapping him on the helmet, like, good job, buddy, way to stay out of it. And then they showed it again, and I was like, I don't know about that. That was not something that I thought was right, or I don't want to say allowed. That was just, that's not something. We're in a different day and age. We are what Bill Parcells used to be able to do in 1985, or Bobby Knight used to do in 1989. It's the days are over. You can't do that. You just can't do it anymore. He was fined $50,000, and rightfully so. I have not heard what Andrew Adams has said about this. I'd love to hear his perspective on this because he had no reaction then.
Right.
Troy Aikman was taken aback by it. Because he thought, like you and me, he thought, oh, he's having a good play. He had a good play.
Yeah.
But when you look back at it, it was Adams just leaning over. I think he was like, talking smack, and he didn't want to get him.
15.
He didn't want to get a 15-yarder, so that's why he did what he did.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on him and what he did, though, man?
Well, like I said, I'm older, and back in the day, that's what coaches would do. That's not what they do nowadays.
They haven't slapped anybody on the helmet since Woody Hayes. Woody Hayes was fired in a bowl game, I want to say against Mike Singletary, because he pulled that move and he slapped the oppositional player. He punched him. It was an outright punch. The guy was running a field goal.
It was Charlie Bauman from Clemson.
Interception or something, and he punched him. It was a legit
underneath the throat.
Right. It was a throat chop. Like, at the end of the day, there's no place for this. There was no place then, and there was no place now. And even at the collegiate level, it's like, well, you're coaching your young men, and you can treat them a certain way. You don't do people like that. You don't put your hands on people like that. So now let's take it to a 2022. And I'm not even going to take it to race, because this will never happen, because, one, there's no black coaches. But second of all, I won't go that route, because even if this was a white player, it still would be unacceptable. So you mean to tell me a guy that's making just the same amount of money as Bruce Arians, by the way, it's not like he works for Bruce Arians. He works for the Bucs organization, much like Bruce Arians does, but he's a higher up because he's a coach. So let's say you're higher up for Fox 2. came in there and hit you on the head because you did something wrong, because you said something on the wrong. Someone that's over you, your higher, punches you in the back of the head. Let's say you, Maz, Chad's our guy. He's the boss man. If Chad slapped you in the back of the head because you did something wrong, it's unacceptable. If an employee at Google or United Wholesale Mortgage or insert Myers, AAA here, if their boss comes up to them and punch them in the head, they will be lawsuit after lawsuit, story after story. But because it's the NFL and we're gladiators, we're football players, take the slap on the head. That's BS. And that shouldn't be happening. There's no room for that in the game. And that's why I said $50,000 isn't money enough, because it needs to set a tone so that no one ever does this again. Now that Bruce Arians, the players coach, the players love him. Mm-hmm. He's a good guy. Like, everyone will fight for him. He loves his players. He's kind of like a Rich Bisaccia, I think, in that sense. A little more extreme, but like a Rich Bisaccia. His players love him, but there's no excuse for that. You got caught in the moment. You made an effed up decision. You got to own up to it. But the NFL had to set that price higher. It should have been a $100,000 fine. So you, as insert coach for the future, be like, you know what? I don't want to make a mistake and hit a player, even if I get caught in the moment. I understand you get caught in the moment. I understand there was nothing of dominance or racial, or it was none of that. But there's no place for that. You can't do that.
It just reminded me of Tom Izzo, and I'm an Izzo guy. And Izzo does that. He doesn't hit his players, right, but he'll get in their face, and remember he grabbed Gabe Brown last year when he was going off the field, going off the court at halftime. And Gabe Brown's own dad said, you know what, I back Coach Izzo.
Okay, that's because Coach Izzo is playing in a father-like role for Gabe Brown, and the father understands that. He comes from the old school. This guy is making money. He's paying. Like when Bruce Arians goes home, who does he go home to? He goes home to his wife, his kids. He goes home to a family. When Adams goes home, who does he go home to? Wife, kids, family. They got pensions, 401ks. They pay the same amount of taxes. They're living the same type of life. He just happens to be a little bit older. You can't put your hands on him. This isn't college. He's not 18 years old.
And it's just a new day, too. I mean, look.
Even in an old day.
Well, sure, but, you know, the context, of course, but I mean the context.
If Romeo would have hit me in my head, I would have fought Romeo.
Yeah, right. You know, I think back though, we do learn.
Braylon.
We do learn.
That's a good one.
As we evolve,
right,
and we learn about things. For instance, and I'm not trying to equate it, but you know, when I played high school football, we didn't get water breaks. You know what I mean? Like the if you drank water, you were a wuss.
PUSS.
Yes, you were a PUS. Yes, that.
You're right.
And seriously, the tougher you weren't tough if you wanted a water break. Now, you don't do that anymore. You know, I mean, people used to yell and get in your face. Coaches used to yell and get in your face and hit you and all that stuff. Now you don't do that. But there's no Bobby Knight in football anymore. There's no Bill Parcells in football anymore because we learn and we evolve.
I agree with you, but the one thing that both of you guys are doing that you got to stop, you're comparing what Bruce Arians did to college. And even like there's not the same level. One, you shouldn't do it, period. But we're talking about two colleagues, basically. Basically, they're colleagues.
Hey, we never played, man. You played.
Yeah.
You got the word.
It doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to play to realize that that's wrong. Is what I'm saying.
It is wrong.
No, yeah, and that's all. No, that's all. I'm not saying you two guys. I'm just saying in general. You shouldn't have to play the game to know that that's wrong.
Right. Maybe Adams is a ball buster, and he's told them in practice 100 times, don't do that, don't do that. Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't. There's no reason to do that.
That's all I was getting
to. There's no reason to do that now. I'm just thinking about you know, just evolving as a people, knowing what's right, what's wrong, what works, what doesn't work, and you cannot do that.
Here's something, and here's
not
something.
That you could do it before, but it was more accepted.
Would Bruce Arians have slapped Tom Brady?
No.
Thank you.
No, he wouldn't.
That's the end of the discussion right there.
No, I don't think there's many guys that slap
Arians
anybody.
wouldn't have slapped Tom Brady.
To be honest with you, I can't think of another coach that would slap any player.
Not today, no.
In today's football.
I think Bruce Arians is like the last of that guy.
Like, who is the oldest friggin' coach in football?
Carroll.
Pete Carroll wouldn't slap anybody unless it was out of joy.
That's it. And that's what Sean McVay did last week. Remember we ran in the end zone to celebrate? They said, hey, get the heck out of here. Get back on the side.
And they lost that game, too, by the way.
They did.
What was it, 49ers?
49ers.
But again, I do think that I do think that's a big deal.
And that's what I really was trying to get to. It's not a black and white thing.
No.
It's a professionalism thing. Right. Like, you should never in the NFL as a head coach, You shouldn't slap a player because he's done something wrong or you think he's done something wrong. Hell, if Bruce Arians didn't slap Antonio Brown for walking off the way he did in New York, you damn sure shouldn't slap this guy.
Let me say this, though, about the racial component to it. And I do not believe, and I don't know Bruce Arians, but I don't think that Bruce Arians hits him because he's a black player.
No.
I don't think that. But
it's
I'll tell you,
it's just what it looks like, though.
The visual of an older white man putting his hands on a younger black male
looks real.
It
1960s.
doesn't look good. It's not good.
Yeah.
So
and it was on Martin Luther King's birthday.
The visual of that is very bad. Very bad.
Just keep your hands to yourself as a player, as a coach, as a general manager, as a whatever. It's professionalism.
Yes.
Like
Right.
in any other profession across the country, you wouldn't put your hands on a colleague.
But if you gave me a chance to slap your ass for doing a good segment, we'd do it, right? Yeah.
No ass slapping today. I gotta stand on my morals today. We slap my ass tomorrow.
All right, gang. We're gonna talk to Rod Beard, Pistons beat writer, Detroit News. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network. The bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
And a miraculous catch.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
All right, right back here on Woodward Sports Network. Ron Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. I want to bring in the great Rod Beard, Pistons beat writer from the Detroit News. Might be in Sacramento by now. Rod, how you doing, bud?
Definitely in Sacramento right now. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm doing pretty good.
Don't do any cow tipping.
What's there to do in Sacramento as a visiting beat writer?
Luckily, it is a back-to-back, so I only have one day and a few hours to try to kill here. There's not a lot. I've never found the thing to do in Sacramento.
My best friend Jeff lived at, I think, the area that's right around the arena. I think there's condos and things like right around the arena. I guess that's everywhere in the United States of America, but he liked that little area right there. So maybe try something over there. I don't know. Some random speculation.
Hey, Rod.
Yeah, it's bars and stuff, but that's about it. After that, it's nothing.
Okay.
Hey, Rod, let me ask you. Came out yesterday, this potential trade offer. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed or not, but it was Sadiq Bay, Jeremy Grant, a first-round pick, and Kelly Olynyk for Ben Simmons. The 76ers rejected that offer. One, do we know if it was a legitimate offer? Two, are the Pistons in on Ben Simmons? Is that a player that they believe would help them in the future and somebody that they want to go after?
I'm just going to say I'm very, very skeptical on this being true. One, because there's a first-round pick that's included in it, and the Pistons can't include a first-round pick in any trade because that goes to Houston, which goes to Oklahoma City. So they don't really have a deal where they can throw in a first-round pick unless they get another team to provide that for them. Because the pick has conditions in that trade that they made that they can't just say, hey, we're going to give you this pick in 2022 or 24 or any of those years up through 27. So that's my first skeptical piece of this. The second is that report said that they wanted a fringe all-star, which is Jeremy Grant. He almost made the all-star team last year, and another piece, and that's Sadiq Bay. But you're throwing in another pick. That's a whole lot for the Pistons to try to do in their rebuild, to say they're going to give up probably their best two scorers, maybe their best three scorers even, depending on the day, and a first-round pick to get Simmons, who is not a scorer. Yeah, that doesn't fly for me. And I just can't see them giving up, even if they could, a first-round pick in the middle of this rebuild. It just doesn't make sense.
I agree. It doesn't make sense to give up your rebuild to start a new rebuild with a player that most people are very unsure of, and that is Ben Simmons. I want to pivot. I want to ask you about one particular player, because we can, have the song and dance about the Detroit Pistons and what they're doing and being back and forth with second and first, but I want to ask more specific questions. Sadiq Bay, What do you attribute Sadiq Bay's inconsistencies to? Because you look at that stretch, that 5-game stretch that he had right after leading New Year's, he had literally 133 points in 5 games, 52 rebounds. He was averaging upwards of 32 points or so. And then turn around and have 2 points, and he had 6 points. You look last night, I think he was 10-1-1. The game before that against the Suns, I believe he had 8 points and 2 assists. Where do you contribute his inconsistencies? I know he's still young, but I divert to you.
Braylon, you hit it on the head. He's still young, and he can have a stretch of 4 or 5 games where he does that. But to go out and say you're going to do that every night when Jeremy Grant's out, Kelly Olynyk's out, you are the 1A guy on the opposing defensive report and the scouting report of guys they have to shut down. So when you play Phoenix, yeah, they're a good defensive team. They're gonna find a way to shut you down. When you come in and play Golden State, they're a good defensive team. They're gonna shut you down. So it's not that he can go out and do it every night. I don't think Sadiq has quite reached that level yet, but he's getting there. And you're seeing these longer streaks. He had a very slow start to the season, but it's encouraging to see that stretch where he was able to put up 20-some points a game. That makes you think that he can do that on a more consistent basis as he starts to mature a little bit more. And when he has some more help. I mean, Cade is going through the same kind of up and down, and there's not as much hand-wringing about that. I think in Sadiq's case, it's just going to take a little bit more time.
Hey, Rod, you watched the world champion Warriors, the future world champion Warriors last night. What did you see from them? As I told you from day one, they were going to win the world championship. Do you think I am on the right track? Klay Thompson's back. That's Braylon's guy. He says he'll put up 100 shots a day. He doesn't care how many he hits. He just loves shooting the basketball. If he stays healthy, who's beating this team?
Yeah, I like their depth. That you've got Otto Porter that's just on the bench. James Wiseman hasn't played a lot, so when he comes back, he'll be a little bit fresher. Draymond's injured right now, so they're just kind of coasting through the season. But once you get to playoff time, that's where Brooklyn's going to be ready. That's where Milwaukee's going to be ready. And I think in the West, they're just as good as anybody else. Can they hang with Phoenix? Absolutely. They've got the depth there and enough guys who can score. I mean, even a Jordan Poole, who has had good stretches this season also, is just one of their reserve scoring guys. They don't count on him for a lot. So I think they've got a lot of options, a lot of opportunity there, and they play a good, solid form of defense, but they're experienced. They have the playoff experience that maybe Phoenix doesn't have, and they've been through those tight ringers of series where Phoenix has only had last year where they've done that.
Stay out west. How about the Lakers? What's your take on them going forward? I think AD is ready to come back, if I'm not mistaken. If he's not back already, he probably should just take All-Star break. He should probably just take his time and come back. In March.
Oh, he wants to play an All-Star game, though.
Oh yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. What's your take there on the Lakers?
Just let me know when they're dead. I mean, that's a team that is not going to do it in the playoffs, and we've seen it enough where LeBron can carry a dead horse of a team through a couple of rounds of the playoffs. This team just isn't it. With Russ and with AD being injured, they just don't have enough depth where they can do that on a consistent enough basis. And you've seen, again, where the Milwaukee's, where the Phoenix's, even the Memphis's out west are going to be a lot tougher this year. And the Lakers are just not going to be able to step into the gym and roll the ball out and be able to play and run over teams the way that they were in the past. They're just dead man walking for the Lakers. I can't see them winning more than a round, even if they get to the playoffs.
Yes, thank you.
Quick 2 questions for you, and one is a quick one. One, how bad are the Pelicans kicking themselves for drafting Zion Williamson as opposed to number 2, John Morant? And 2, with the Detroit Pistons, what does success look like moving forward from January through May?
Well, Zion was the pick at the time, but that hindsight has a way of correcting that for you.
Right, we knew he was going to balloon up.
If it was anybody else but New Orleans. Look, you give me gumbo every day, and I'm blowing up to 252. You give me all of those restaurants and all of that fat and sassy attitude, I can blow up to 250.
Especially the guy already is 6'6", 270.
Hey,
that was out of
he big boned it. He big boned it. No, I think the Pistons' success is going to be on finding streaks like that for Sadiq Bay, finding them for Killian Hayes, where he can have some good, consistent back-to-back games. It seems like every time Killian has a good game, he gets injured or something else and he had a hip contusion last night. That's why he didn't play after that first quarter. It's just finding some smooth sailing and some smooth games for him where he can play that way. And then it's getting Jeremy Grant back. And if you can find a trade that works, it's not this Ben Simmons deal, but if you find one that works and you can get 2 first-round picks or a pick and a young guy, starting to set the path a little bit straighter with more pieces for your rebuild.
Talking to Rod Beard, Pistons beat writer, Detroit News. He's out there in Sacramento in advance of the Pistons and Kings. Rod, halfway through the season, are the Pistons where we thought they'd be? I feel like they're worse than I thought they'd be. I mean, their season win total I just saw was 26.5. They're at 10 now, halfway through. Where are they this season compared to where relative to where you believe they would have been halfway through the season?
Oh, they're far below that, and it's really because of injuries and because of COVID. And somebody's going to say, "Hey, everybody's been hit by COVID in the league." The Pistons got hit all at once. It wasn't one guy at one time and 2 players the next week and another player the next week. They had 8 guys all out at the same time, and they were essentially playing with their G League roster against some teams that they probably could have beaten if they were somewhere near full strength. But the injuries, you don't expect to have Kelly Olynyk. That was their main free agent guy. He was out for 2 months. Jeremy Grant's been out for a little bit over a month now. You were missing Cade for the beginning part of the year. That put everything on the ice where you just weren't going to get the production that you wanted out of this first part of the season. So again, you go back to what do you want to see for the last part of it? You want to see them start framing things for next year and beyond. If they're going to trade away these expiring contracts, Josh Jackson's an expiring contract. If you're going to do away with that and get some more picks and get some other young guys in here, then you start doing that. You want to see Isaiah Stewart start taking some turns too. All of these young guys, they need to take a step forward from where they were last year. And we've seen Sadiq Bay do that in a bigger way for longer stretches is what you want to see. Hamidou Diallo looks like a guy who's going to fit long-term too, Frank Jackson. So you just want to see more along the path of what this is building to be.
Hey, Rod, what's your take on Kyrie and the Nets going forward? I mean, they're down right now. KD's out. Kyrie can't be there every game. We all thought by now he probably would take the vax and maybe get back with the team, but it's looking like he's holding steadfast. How do they go forward?
No, I think they're just going to move forward and say, hey, we'll use them for the road games and whatever we can. And maybe with KD at full strength and Blake Griffin and James Harden, they'll be good enough to beat most teams. And they'll figure something out. They're not going to convince Kyrie to take the vaccine. That's just not going to happen. And he said it enough times, and he seems just dug in on that it's just not going to happen. So I wouldn't even try to poke that bear anymore either. Just let that be what it is. And if you're going to let him play part-time, let him play part-time. I think they just want to fast forward to the playoffs and get to the series that matter and just try to be as healthy as they can. The health is the most important thing for them. And then it's trying to figure out where Kyrie's going to fit.
I don't think they win this way. I don't think they could win a championship this way.
No. Milwaukee's going to be too tough for them. And, the East is top to bottom a little bit stronger, but I don't think there are as many teams. I like Memphis out west and what they're doing in Golden State, obviously, and Phoenix is going to be a tough out, too.
When's the last time we said that? I like the East
the
more
East
than
is
the
coming
West.
back, man. They're coming back.
That sounded good to
The
hear.
great Rod Beard. Enjoy Sacramento, California
Sac-town.
out there. Good job. I don't know if that's something you say. Enjoy Sacramento.
But
enjoy the Sac.
Sacramento.
You can say a lot of things.
Enjoy the
You
Sac.
say a lot of things. It's 57 degrees here, so that's the
You're
one
good.
ray of
Right.
sunshine
You're
we
good.
got.
We got his windows down for crying out
All
loud.
right, we got to get him in studio.
Thanks, Rod. We appreciate it,
We
man.
appreciate you
All
as
right.
always.
Check out
Thanks,
Rod. Check out Rod on DetroitNews.com. All that Pistons
We'll get him in
content.
studio.
Yeah, we'll get him in
on Twitter at Det News, Rod Beard as well. Guys, we'll get back into some NFL talk. We can also react to anything Rod said. React. I knew you were going to say it.
Quarterback stuff, too. You want to wait on that?
What's that?
You want to wait on the quarterback stuff till tomorrow?
Well, I wanted to, I was thinking about waiting on the quarterback
We can save it
stuff
for
because
tomorrow.
that's a
There you
nice
go.
topic. We're going to rank the quarterbacks left in the in the playoffs. Also, there was an article today that we can talk about tomorrow as well, just because we're up against it here pretty soon, about Aaron Rodgers having all the pressure in that game on Sunday. Somebody to my right said that earlier this week, Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Everything that we've hoped for finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. This place is wicked awesome. Friendly staff and so available. I'll tell you this much. Multiple locations throughout the Metro Detroit area in the state of Michigan, and of course, multiple locations in many states around the country. Most states around the country, so no matter where you're listening or wherever you're watching, please look for a Lady Jane's near you. Precision haircuts. All you got to do, you walk in that front door, you walk in, you sign in, you sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean.
Wicked awesome.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee.
There you
That's
go,
right,
Fish.
Open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Also,
Wicked awesome.
want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. That's
Look
right,
at you
located
go.
in Michigan, on Michigan Avenue, in the great city of Dearborn. General Motors has announced the all-new electric Chevy Silverado. That's right, reservation. You're excited for that, baby. Reservations are now
I feel you,
open.
Sawyer.
Chevy.com. Les Stanford going to have one of the largest allocations of that vehicle, so make sure you get in line at Les Stanford Chevrolet. For more, call them today. 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000, or online at lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com, Les Stanford Chevy. Find new roads.
Find the roads.
Find them.
And we certainly appreciate all of our advertisers here on Woodward Sports Network. Without them, we are not here. So if you're in the market for a car, go to Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. If you're in the market for an alarm company, call Guardian Alarm.
Stay out.
If you're
in the market for vodka,
Gypsy Vodka.
You want to go work out to work off some of that
Planet
vodka?
Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Just
no judgment-free zone.
No judgment zone.
You know who doesn't have to work out there?
Who's that?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry does not have to. It's funny. He's going to play, and he's going to be faster than anybody on that field.
How did he come back?
How does he do that?
How did he come back?
We got some video of his.
October.
We got some video of his.
Let's roll it while we're talking.
In October, I asked the question. I said, is Derrick Henry going to be the next T.O.? And what I meant by that is in 2004, when T.O. was playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, he broke his ankle. I want to say fracture. What do you call it? Not plantar fasciitis, but something around the level of stress fracture in his foot. Right. Came back and played in the Super Bowl. So couldn't play before the Super Bowl. He couldn't play in any one of the rounds. They got a bye week because they won the NFC that year. They had the best record. He got a bye week. He didn't play in the second round. He didn't play in the third round. Played in the Super Bowl. And I was asking that question. And Derrick Henry, man, he looks like he's gonna be the next T.O., man. How much does he have in that tank? Like how good is he gonna be?
T.O. almost won that game for the Eagles.
Yeah, he did.
Single-handedly. He had what? He had 8 catches for 130 yards, 35 yards.
Couple touchdowns.
No, he didn't. That's the only thing he didn't do. He didn't score.
He didn't score?
135.
Remember I played this video just a couple of weeks ago?
You did. He was like, he only could plan on the left. Like, he only went to the left, etc. But Derrick Henry's like, some people are different. I give you another example. Look at it on Monday. Who played in that game Monday fresh off a reconstruction? No, J.J. Watt.
Oh, J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt had a reconstruction.
I thought you meant Cam Akers.
Oh, well, that's another freaky deal. Played on Achilles, towards Achilles, I want to say in July.
Yeah.
Towards Achilles in July, talking about Cam Akers, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. had an amazing game on Monday. Like, you're not supposed to come back that. You saw what he did to Buda Baker. I hope Buda Baker's all right, but you saw what he did to him. He took it to him. But J.J. Watt had reconstructive shoulder surgery.
Say that 3 times fast.
Reconstructive shoulder surgery. Reconstructive shoulder surgery. And he played in the game.
Maz and I never played. Well,
you did.
It depends on the person.
Define never played.
I played for the
never came out of the
1971
game.
Pee Wee Jets.
Right. I never came out of the game for my high school.
There you go.
Myself. However, at the level in which you played,
we were undefeated.
Talk to me and us about like this. We can hear Derrick Henry's coming back. We can see Terrell Owens coming back. Just how difficult is this? You've been through the rehab. You've been through the surgeries. You've been through the training.
Right.
What is it? What did these players do to get ready for this moment?
One, your mental has to be at a different level. Your mental has to be at such a point where, one, you can block out pain. You can block out the outside world. You can block out distractions. Then you got to be able to go in there and do rehab. You have to be able to listen to the doctor, listen to your the head trainer for whatever team you play for. You got to listen to him, but you also got to listen to your body. Because sometimes your body will let you do more than your trainers want you to do. So you got to listen to your body and you push it more. Sometimes your body won't let you do what your trainers think you can do. We talked about that situation with me out in San Fran. So it's a fine line and it's a balance, man. I remember I tore some ligaments in my ankle in the off season, going back into training camp in 2009 when I was playing with the Browns. Tore some ligaments. My ankle was messed up. I think I actually did it in minicamp, and it hindered me all throughout the little time off that I had. When I got back, went to the doctor. The doctor said, "Hey, look, we could do a quick procedure." He was talking to the head trainer, Marty Lazan. He said we could do a quick procedure on him, but he'll probably come back second, third week of the season. Or it's just up to him to deal with it. Maybe you guys give him a couple weeks, another week off, let him deal with it and gradually build up. I opted not to do the surgery. I didn't want to do surgery. I wanted to play. I played in training camp, then I played in the season, and I never missed any time. Got traded, went to the Jets, but my ankle hurt the whole year. Like every time I planted on it, it hurt. Then when it gets cold outside, your bones and your muscles are stiffer. It's harder. Like it's just up to pain tolerance, man. It's a level of mental. So for Derrick Henry, what he's gone through a break, a surgery, and then now he's got to deal with mentally. Am I going to be able to get back to help my team out? Then am I going to get hurt when I'm out there? Because now that he's back, there's a timidness to you. No matter how strong you are, no matter how amazing you are, no matter you look at Derrick Henry and you're like, man, he just looks huge. He's amazing. It's still a level of timidness because you want to go through the move and you want to be who you were when the season started, and you might not be that. So that's what you have to deal with as a player when you're injured or you're returning from surgery. It is more of a mental deal that's tough.
That's what scares me about Klay Thompson. I didn't mean to cut you off. No. Man. Every time he shoots or jumps up, and I get worried for him because I want to see him finish out like a champ, like he is.
That's why I was so happy with Klay. You're absolutely right, but that's why I was so happy with Klay that he dunked in that first game. Yeah. Like not just the dunk.
He showed it.
He if we weren't on air, I would say something different, but he dunked on a guy, which isn't his necessary strong suit. That let me know, you know what? He's back. The time that he's waited, the extra time, and this is where it comes into play where you see people attack Kawhi Leonard for not coming back to the Spurs that one year, or other players, insert player here.
He's still out now.
Where people I know, right? Where people are, he tore his ACL.
He got the championship.
He tore his ACL last year. That's different.
Well, not for the Clippers.
But, and you see people like, oh, he should be back. This person should come back. He's just like hoarding days. These guys are protecting themselves so that when they come back, they are in peak shape. So they are no longer timid. So they're not going out there and they're half the player that they should be. That's why guys wait a lot.
Also, part of that, sports fans, we as sports fans, like I have access to you. You know what I mean? I have access to you, and now, thankfully, people that watch our show have access to you. You provide a perspective to the random casual sports fan that you just don't get. We don't know 90% of the stuff we're talking about. Get back on the field. What do you mean? I tore my knee. What do you mean get back on the field? Yeah. Oh, if it was so easy, let me just go ahead and get back in the game. I mean, it's just you don't know.
But I'll tell you, the Titans, man, no one's really giving them any respect.
I'm not either.
None of us really are.
Because when we do this tomorrow, when we rank the quarterbacks,
Oh, good segue.
I'm gonna give you a guess.
And the games.
And when we rank why nobody's giving Tennessee a shot in what
QB?
To win the AFC or to win the Super Bowl is because when we tomorrow rank the quarterbacks remaining in the NFL, I'll give you one guess who's last.
RT.
His name is Ryan Tannehill.
Well, it may be on your list.
On my list.
Ooh.
Not on my list.
I like that, Maz.
So we have that.
You see my list. My list is already on the sheet.
I got to look at this. Then we'll get a sneak peek. While we do that, we're going to take a break. Come right back. Maz's videos of the day next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network. The bottom line.
Braylon.
I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes?
Touchdown! What a play!
Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet, the Woodward Sports Network.
Centron World is an aspirational lifestyle and is a beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Centron is fashionable. Okay? Centron flat out is fashionable, it's functional, and it's fun. Like, tell me about that. What is it? Fashionable, functional, and fun. Those are the three F's, man. Those are the three F's to keys to life, baby. Those are the three F's right there. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Centron has got to be your top choice. I'm telling you, man, Centron is made for celebrations. Buy online at CentronWorld.com with promo code RedWings10. I say it again, Red Wings 10. Save 10% with shipping included. Centron is more than just a beverage, it's a lifestyle, and Centron doesn't just fit into your lifestyle, it enhances it. That's a key thing in life. By encouraging you to look good, feel good, and also feel great. Drink it, live it with Centron.
The great Tom Mazawey. It is one of our favorite segments of the day. It is Maz's videos of the day.
Segment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate that we have to dance all over it, though.
Yeah, I know, because of
copyright infringement.
If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us, on Spotify or Apple, whatever, however you're listening to us, we talk over NFL, just to pull back the curtain on you a little bit, we talk over NFL highlights that we show because of the restrictions that the NFL puts on their video on internet broadcasts.
That are live.
Right. Unlike something that you would see on television or the radio. Yeah. The restrictions on us are different on YouTube. So I just wanted to, we're not trying to be rude or talk over the video, but if you talk over the video and make it your own, essentially, that's okay.
We don't take ourselves that serious.
Right.
Hey, so I'm going to start you off with a non-NFL video.
Okay.
It's in the college. We go to Colorado, and Ralphie the Buffalo is there. Oh, what do we got there?
Oh, man.
Sorry, what happened? Here we go.
Toga.
You know what? We'll play the video again, but we'll play it without the audio. Then we could maybe make it out.
What's happening here? I don't know what's happening.
He's trying to shoot a ball or a T-shirt into the stands.
He injured himself using the T-shirt cannon.
And he shoots himself.
That guy's an idiot.
In the privates.
Out of here.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Had to be carried away on a stretcher.
The mascot shoots himself in the privates.
Didn't Tom Gores used to shoot?
Oh, he loved that.
Yeah, he loves that cannon.
That's his favorite thing. He loves the
that.
T-shirt cannon. Tom Gores.
That's awesome.
Bring us a championship, please. All right, that's that one. Now, today is a special day.
Is it?
20 years ago tonight.
History.
It's history. It's a blizzard in New England. It's the Raiders, and it's the
Tuck rule.
The Tuck rule.
This is the Tuck rule.
Let's play it. You can listen to this now. Now listen. This is Al Davis.
Opinion of almost everybody in the world that the play was a fumble.
Yes, it was.
Should have been called a fumble. That someone would reverse it without a conclusive indisputable
Protecting
visual
their quarterback,
evidence is just unbelievable.
Look at Gruden.
Wow.
But that's what happened. That's what we have to
Nice
live
boot.
with. But we'll always consider that play a fumble.
The Raiders have been in two unbelievably historic plays. The immaculate reception that went against them, against the Steelers in 72, and that one 20 years ago tonight, the Tuck rule. I want to ask Braylon about the Tuck rule.
Crazy thing is, before you ask that, is one Michigan legend got F'd, and
Woodson.
the other Michigan
Yep.
legend received the positive
Woodson
side.
took
got
it,
played.
and Brady
Yeah.
took it. That's the beginning of Tom Brady, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
That's
It
the
is.
beginning.
There's
It
no
was.
first Super Bowl without that, right?
And how about Adam Vinatieri
Oh man.
kicking that almost a 50-yard field goal in that snow to tie the game, and then he hits it with the chippy to win it.
It's almost one of those things where that moment is like you kind of forgive the Tuck rule and the BS because of what Vinatieri still had to do with that. Like you're almost kind of like, you know what, it's a wash.
Well, that's why Rob Parker doesn't call him the GOAT. He calls him the LOAT.
The luckiest of all time.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob put out a couple of tweets. I just tweeted back with him during a commercial break. I saw a couple of Sabret hot dogs. He snuck some Sabret hot dogs back from New York to L.A. And, of course, Sabret is the famous hot dog in New York. All the push cart guys are there. They sit in the dirty water. They give you the hot dog. It's best tasting hot dog ever.
my God.
And Rob, I wrote him. I'm like, Rob.
They don't use ballpark Franks?
No, the only thing missing, Rob, is the dirty water. He laughed.
So funny.
He's that mad. You know that. So listen, the Tuck rule, right? It's such an event 20 years ago that, guess what? ESPN is coming up with a 30 for 30 in just a few weeks.
Really?
Here it is. Check it out.
Lost the football. It's on the ground.
That looks like the face of defeat right there.
That'll be an automatic review.
I mean, there was no doubt in my mind. It's a horrible rule. The stupid rule.
Oh, my gosh. Can't believe it. That was the rule.
Wow, that really just happened.
Wow.
If you can't overcome it, maybe you don't really deserve to be a championship
Come on,
team
Gruden.
anyway.
Teddy
The
Bruschi.
Super Bowls
Shut up, Bruschi.
all happened because it
Can't stand
wasn't a fumble.
It was a fumble. I'll
You're
never
like Teddy
believe
Bruschi.
anything different.
Can't believe it.
What do you have against Teddy Bruschi, man?
That call
He's a Patriot.
really changed the trajectory of like our whole world.
You hate everyone good.
No
Wow.
one would have ever heard of Tom if it wasn't for that night. Had a Tuck
Perhaps.
rule never happened, a lot of people would look back.
I disagree with
think,
that.
well, what if?
I disagree with what you have heard of Tom because Tom.
The Tuck rule, February 6th, 30 for 30 on ESPN.
Everything was in place still at that time, so they still would have been the Patriots. They would have lost that game. The Raiders maybe would have won because the Raiders went to the Super Bowl the following year and lost to the Bucks. John Gruden and the Bucks. But I think Tom would still be Tom. I think that it would have delayed the takeoff.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Now, Adam Vinatieri won that game for him.
Yeah.
And he won the Super Bowl against the Rams.
They were what?
But he still was their kicker.
They
Yeah.
were 13-point underdogs in that
Yeah.
game. One of the
That was the
largest
Mike Martz Super Bowl.
That's one of the largest Super Bowl underdogs of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they still had everything in place, and you still had Bill Belichick with Brady, Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi.
Yeah, they were ready.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They still would have. It just would have delayed the takeoff. But you're right. I think maybe here's another thing with Charles Woodson in Oakland. Does Charles ever leave Oakland and go to Green Bay? Now that's something to talk about.
They could have won maybe back-to-back Super Bowls, or
Now,
at least went to them.
You know, you think about
give you
that. Too is in the All Madden documentary. They talk about that first Super Bowl because that first Super Bowl was Madden and Summerall's last game together.
Yes,
in
the Brady
2002
Super Bowl.
on Fox, the Brady Super Bowl, and you hear Pat Summerall, on the broadcast, but also in the stadium. And ladies and gentlemen, the Patriots have elected to be announced as a team, and they all came out together instead of the one-on-one introductions. And I knew at that moment they were going to win.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a game.
At that moment, they came out as a team. Now everybody comes out as a team, but that was the first team to decide to come out as a team.
They beat the greatest show on turf.
Yep, they did.
Remember back in the day, you go to an NFL stadium and they would announce the players coming out. I mean, when I did my couple of years at the Silverdome and then at Ford Field, doing the announcing of the players, and the Lions would always have the defense come out because the offense was so bad back then. And Dre Bly was the guy; he was the last guy to come out. So it was always fun to do, but they don't do it. They don't do it as much anymore.
Can you announce like you used to announce Dre Bly at Ford Field?
You know what? I copied the North Carolina guy when I did it.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do?
I said, in starting corner or whatever the heck he was, a safety or a cornerback. Number 32 out of North Carolina, Trey Black.
The Bulls guy.
They need to hire you back in Ford Field.
The Bulls guy.
Edgar.
There you go. You got it, brother.
6'6".
That's how I got Dre Bly. That was like
North
one
Carolina.
Of the last applauses of the day because they would be getting killed almost in every home game.
Very good. Maz, good effort out of you. Good effort out of you. Braylon, get us out of here. Fish, good to see you today, buddy.
Hey, man, I got my finger broke today and my arm got thrown out of socket. But you know what? It was all worth it. For my man Detroit D.U.S.T, Commander Dale Brown was amazing. Had Fish in the studio today. Always a pleasure to see you, Fish. Sawyer, checking in, man. Really appreciate the job you did over there.
Thank you, Sawyer.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man.
Sawyer, great effort out of you today, buddy.
Double duty.
Alex, get well, man.
Alex, get well.
Alex Mayer, get well, buddy. We love you, Alex Mayer.
We need you, Eeyore.
We need you, Alex Mayer. Go. Today's Wednesday. Go check out Alex Mayer.
Yes, he posted it this morning. It was incredible.
Check it out, man. Go check out Al May. That's our guy.
Michigan State update.
Hey, Michigan won basketball last night.
They did. Rutgers. Congratulations. Now let's go win some other ones, man.
It's about time Michigan finally win a game.
Hey, would you shut up, okay?
Yes,
I just told you it was nice to have you back.
Here's
Don't
your
make me
pen,
let me get that pen back, man. Oh, man, we love you guys, man. We appreciate it. It's another good show. Like I said early in the show, go listen to music. Music is the great universal equalizer, man. It's great. It's good for the soul. I think I'm about to get in the car and listen to Marvin Gaye myself. I'm Edwards. He's Ermanni. This is The Bottom Line. We'll see you tomorrow.